Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Here for some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Future Saga Chapter 4. We're currently in an interesting spot in terms of reveals because we don't necessarily know much about the pack itself, content-wise. We do know that there's going to be an epic story mode filled with many missions, animated CGI cutscenes. There's going to be an all-out war, heroes versus villains. A ton of characters are returning from the previous chapters, even DLCs before the Future Saga even started, and few is behind all of this. It does make sense to me that they would focus on the story mode just because this literally is the final DLC for Xenoverse 2, closing the chapters, moving over to Xenoverse 3 in Age 1000. Very epic stuff, but who are going to be the new playable characters? Are we going to be getting an additional stage? Will there be a free update that provides an additional awoken skill for our custom characters? When is going to be the next reveal or updates for the actual DLC? Who knows? We're just going to go ahead and speculate a little bit about all of that. So without further ado, make sure to drop a like, turn on post notifications, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll greatly appreciate it. And real quick, what you're currently witnessing up on screen is just going to be the final scroll that they revealed over on their Twitter page. It is slightly mysterious just because it also provided some text beneath the image itself, but we couldn't necessarily decipher all that because the scroll is literally being burned as if the timeline is going to be erasing, which that could be interesting. USV Supreme Kai of Time, USV Supreme Kai of Time seems like she's going to be one of those playable characters. But our CAC talking to Few over there just before the chaos happens, before Few probably summons in all the villainous enemies and before all the heroes arrive, right? So the first thing I want to go over is when can we potentially get the release of Future Saga Chapter 4? And to decipher all of that, we're going to go down memory lane, breaking down the timeline, if you will. This is going to be Future Saga Chapter 3, the very first teaser trailer, right? This dropped September 2025, and then a month later, they decided to promote one of the playable characters, Base Broly with his Super Saiyan transformation. Also displayed a couple of his Super and Ultimate attacks, right? And then a week after they displayed one of the playable characters, we got the launch trailer, October 28th. So what I'm trying to say is, since we already got the teaser trailer of Future Saga Chapter 4, are we close to the actual launch trailer to be able to play Future Saga Chapter 4? Because first teaser of Chapter 3 to the launch trailer of Chapter 3 was only about a month, and we already got that teaser, so you know what I mean? I feel like this Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC could be arriving sooner than we think. Now, I know according to the Steam page, it does say quarter 3, July, August, and or September, but this was always a placeholder, correct? So my assumption is that we very well could be getting Future Saga Chapter 4 at the end of this month. Do keep in mind, this is just speculation. Nothing is confirmed. I know absolutely nothing, so take everything I say in today's video with the smallest grain of salt. Or maybe next month. That's my best bet. If I were to make a solid prediction, I would say June next month, just because for the dawn of time, they've been marketing this DLC to drop summer of 2026. And according to Google, if we go over here, it does say the first day of summer is Sunday, June 21st. So again, late June, I could see it happening, which, to be fair, that's still sooner than the placeholder dates they provided a while ago, quarter 3, July, August, and or September. So if it is June, I'll be happy with it. If it's sooner than that, May, then that's even better. But again, summer of 2026, according to Google, July 21st is the first day. So at the end of July is my prediction. Let me make that clear. But in terms of getting the actual next piece of information, going back to this, in between the teaser and launch trailer of Chapter 3, you know, they promoted a bit of their characters. So we're currently in this phase of Chapter 4, right? So the next info should be announcing some of those playable characters. Now, I guess we could assume who those playable characters will be. Now, before we do all of that, again, going back to the Steam page, you guys remember it said includes a new playable character, singular. Again, this was just a placeholder, and even before, when I went over the description, because before it said playable characters, it changed from plural to singular. I mentioned don't worry because there's probably going to be more than one at least. Just because if we take a look at the entire DLCs for Xenoverse 2, at minimum, there's always been 2 characters. Maximum up to 5 characters. So it ranges between 2 and 5. I mean, don't get me wrong, they very well could just be including 1 character for this upcoming DLC pack, but I personally don't think so. If we go back to the teaser trailer, I do think they teased some of the playable characters. So I went ahead and made this the first person I believe to be playable is going to be the USV Chronoa or Supreme Kai of Time. It makes sense. She's already in the game. Typically, whenever we get the USV version of the character, we already have an older version. She was part of the DLC 11 free update. The whole pack was a free update, but the Xenoverse community just classified it as DLC because it was massive, came with partner customization keys, free update stuff, and a character, right? I get it. Skills and ultimates for CACs. It was cool. So I definitely see this being a thing. And plus, if we take a look at the previous chapters, whenever there's a new USV character that's part of the story mode, they're also part of the in-game contents, the playable character-wise. So if we go back to Chapter 1, we saw USV God Vegeta and USV Rosy Goku Black in a story, and we got them as playable characters. Chapter 2, same thing goes for USV Jiren, part of the story, part of the actual roster. Chapter 3, USV Golden Frieza, story, got him for the roster. So I think it's safe to say that since we have that CGI animated cutscene from the teaser trailer, right there with the crystal, the magenta aura, I feel like she will be the first playable character. Now, I know we see all the other villainous characters, or Jiren and Hit as well, because they're not necessarily villains. We see them with the USV power boost, but do keep in mind, this is not going to be the full transformation of that stage 3, because they don't have the crystal like Chronoa over there. It is cool that they're integrating these guys parts of the story missions, just because we haven't seen them before with this new and improved USV stage developed by Few. Correct? We've seen them, of course, through the original Xenoverse 2 story, some of the couple of DLCs that they have, but with the original Stage 2 super villainous power boost, like Cell, for example, he was in Chapter 1, Chapter 2, or the superhero DLCs, right? But with the original Timebreaker symbol and that power-up, right? This is our very first time seeing Mira, Toa, Android 1718, Kura, Kid Buu, Perfect Cell, and Hits with this Stage 3 evolution. It's not necessarily complete with the crystal, but it's just part of the story for that all-out war. It's very unfortunate for Jiren just because he already got his turn, I guess you could say, in Chapter 2, but he's being consumed once again. Come on, man, you've already experienced this. You should have know how to overpower this boost. Be like God Vegeta, who overpowered it with ease, man. I mean, he's used to it, right? Majin Mark, he overpowered that, and even in the Topo Story Mode DLC, when Few gave him the additional power, he overpowered that. Hey, man, leave it up to Vegeta, right? What was I even discussing about? I do digress. Oh yeah, playable characters. Few, I know a lot of people have been speculating that we could potentially get a super villainous Few, something similar to the actual Super Dragon Ball hero. I said that too, would be cool to get him as a character, but now I just don't think that's going to be the case. Well, this is the teaser. We could get a third character, maybe even 4. This is the final DLC. That's not to say that they're going to be just jam-packing this thing with every content in the world or whatever. If it's just 1 or even 2, then I'll be happy with it. So going over to the second character, yes, I do think this new transformation for Ultra Instinct Goku will be the second playable character. It's the opposite of USV, right? A lot of you guys even said if you invert the purple color scheme from the power boost, it will change to this kind of lime green, something similar to Supreme Kai of Time's power. And yeah, I do think Supreme Kai of Time USV and Goku. Hence why I created this a while ago. And then the story mission with the sword, you know, just representing Fu. Maybe this is the end of Fu. Maybe he goes down in the actual story mission. Will he be in Xenoverse 3? I'm not entirely sure, but I do have to say that they did the character Fu wonders in Xenoverse 2. Well, this shouldn't necessarily be the end of Fu, just because we just barely got him within Xenoverse 2 as the DLC story content. So if we do see him in the future in any other Dragon Ball media, that will be kind of cool, right? But I just find it interesting how Goku, the main man himself, the GOAT, was able to get mind controlled in the first place, because we do see the purple aura around him. I'm assuming maybe he gets corrupted to the full extent of the USV Stage 3 boost with the crystal and everything, and then eventually, maybe not necessarily a playable version of that Goku, the USV, but in the story mode, maybe we go up against them. That would be kind of cool. And then eventually he does overcome the sinister power, converts that over to this one that we see here, or maybe Supreme Kai of Time just helps Goku out. I just think it would be nice if Vegeta gets consumed once again. I know that may be a bit redundant just because we got him for Chapter 1, but I just kind of want to see a USV Vegeta versus a USH Goku showdown. Let me know down below in the comments who you guys think the characters will be. Now, talking a little bit more about the story mode itself, it really is the end, man. Trunks is over here panicking. He says something along the lines, this is going to be the end of all of us. No, if you set those androids free, this will be the end of all. Technical difficulties. My microphone literally just blew up. I don't know if you guys heard that distortion sound to it, but holy, it really is the end of all of us. I don't know what I was talking about. Trunks, I think. But he's all depressed. Fu seems like he's going to be the victor. At least that's what they're showing us, right? They do the magic editing. They're purposely showing us the pieces here with Supreme Kai of Time. I just think that's going to be a cool piece of the story, because we do see her use her powers a little bit, but what if she decides to use her powers for the sinister side of things? Dude, that could be intense. Is she the one that erases the Time Patrollers or destroys Kantan City? And that's essentially what I wanted to talk about. Again, we don't know much. Again, I do expect them to start promoting some of the characters maybe in the next month or so. And then let's see if this speculation is true in regards to Goku and USV Supreme Kai of Time being the new characters. I think it's safe to say, again, that Supreme Kai of Time USV will be. But Goku, that could be a stretch, but I think that would be the better character in my personal opinion, just because Goku, who doesn't like Goku, you know what I mean? This is it for today's video. Thank you guys for the immense support as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.